You all know the story of Aristophanes about love. The gods create human beings so that we could worship them. But mistakenly, we're given two heads and four arms and four legs, and one happens to be feminine, the other masculine. And so the masculine part always looks at the feminine part, and the feminine part looks at the masculine part. And Zeus kind of sits back and watches all of this and asks himself, well, when are they going to stop looking at each other and start looking at me? But that doesn't happen. The feminine very much enjoys looking at the face of the masculine, and the masculine enjoys very much looking at the face of the feminine. It's like an act of worship. They haven't yet been thrown out of the Garden of Eden, so they don't really know what separation means and how it feels. All that they know is that, they behold one another, and it's kind of like paradise. And Zeus grows angry and he becomes jealous. And so he cuts them in half. And I think for the first time, the feminine comes to feel what it means to miss the masculine, and the masculine comes to feel what it means to miss the feminine. They're no longer together. So there is this angst, this dread that now lives inside them. And in some ways, I think Zeus was very, very successful in having human beings worship him, because he knows full well that there are moments you're going to feel as if there is something missing in your life, but you don't know what it is. But you're also very cunning in the sense that you could find variety of distractions. And the problem with that is that if you're not careful, if you're not intellectually mature, if you're not emotionally ripe, if your goals and purposes in life are relatively shallow, almost everything out there can kind of be attractive. And then time passes. There comes a point where you just are forced to pause, reflect back, and you realize that it's been a complete waste. You shouldn't pursue some of the things that you thought attractive at that time, but that's just the way we function. But there is this component in us that just doesn't leave us alone. Once in a while you kind of wake up and you say, there is nothing wrong with my life, but I feel as if something is missing and I don't know what that is. And so these moments where our intuition kind of comes to life and allows us some insights about life, about ourselves, because we don't take them seriously, they kind of just disappear. And we go back to the busyness of life and again realize that we're being haunted by these insights when they come about. I also think that in some ways, maybe it's a good thing that we fall in love with the wrong things in life. And those wrong things keep us occupied for 50, 60, 70, 80 years. The truth is, I don't think many of us have the capacity to kind of come to realize, like Moses, that our identity is fake. That you have to kind of, like Saint Francis of Assisi, just remove all of your outer and inner clothing and move into the desert to figure out who and what you are. And I also think it's quite disastrous that everybody now has access to YouTube and they can kind of go online and kind of begin their search on New Age gurus and what they say about love, what they say about the meaning of life or your life, how or what your purpose in life should be, because they give you, these weights that you have to carry, and you shouldn't carry them.